What's up, everybody? It's me again, Quatez, and I'm back with another comic book review. This one is No One Left to Fight by Aubrey, Sitterson, and Fico, Ossio. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. He actually colored his own stuff too, so take from that what you will, but can we just take a moment out of our day? Just a moment out of our day and look at these colors. Look at this cover. This cover makes you want to pick up comics. Like, it used to be back in the 90s, you see a cool cover and you're like, oh man, that's a really cool cover. And then you look inside of it and it's like some other guy who is attached to the book. And you're like, man, that guy sucks on the inside. But the guy on the cover, no. Fico Ossio, yeah, he drew this too. He's the cover artist and he is the pencil guy. But let's digest this cover just for a second here. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. These creators, they even admit in the book, they're Dragon Ball fans. They've taken a lot of the shonen tropes and they've kind of blended it to their world and everything. But you can see, I had to read up on the internet actually about some of the design elements that went into this character who is named Vale with a accent over the A. So I don't know if his name is Vale or if it's Vale, but I like to call him Vale, like Eric Vale. I imagine that his voice sounds kind of like Goku's or like Trunks, you know, because Eric Vale, you know. But like a Trunksian, maybe the Black Saga in Dragon Ball Super type of Trunks, where he's just rage all the time. More rage than he was when he was angsty and he first showed up to piece up Frieza. But anyway, so we can see you know, the beads. When I think of the beads, I think of Akuma from Street Fighter. That's the first thing I think of. I know that they're not him, but it was popularized by him. He has the red hair, just like Akuma. It just, I don't know. It just fits his character. These design elements are just weird, but they work. I mean, he has the heavyweight champion belt. We learned in the story that he's actually saved the Earth more times than we can think of. And the only weird thing I think about his character design is that he just wears taped up feet and he walks around this way. I just think it's kind of weird. Anyway, you know, like I said, these are your characters right here. You have Vale and then you have, I believe, Tudo? I'm not sure what I forget his name because he's kind of a forgettable character. And I'm sorry, he's supposed to be the Vegeta, the Sasuke of this story. Who their rivalry apparently he's jealous that he has saved the world and his kids like him more. Yeah, but there's a lot of sometimes the colors get like the art lost when you're looking because it's kind of confusing what's going on. And for a first issue, it's kind of confusing. Like sometimes it doesn't really flow well. It kind of just jumps a lot, and then it kind of expects you to know some lore that you should come in knowing, but there really isn't like an established lore because the story just starts and they're like, oh hey, we're just playing with each other, you know, kind of. It's like if Dragon Ball, when you get to the Z phase, but you didn't watch Dragon Ball, so you're kind of trying to get caught up with like, oh, hey, that's Goku. But you don't know it's Goku because he has to be introduced by Bulma and then you find out Gohan is a thing because, you know, they're having a reunion and everything. So anyway, we are introduced to the rival and the old love interest Flame, Krysta. And you know, he has Krysta and apparently his rival have gotten married, but Krysta and Vale had a history, and so you know that just adds more layers onto their rivalry, and I think it's actually dynamic because these guys, I don't know how they actually work. Oh, his name is Timor or Timor. Like I said, people's names just have they have accents over them. I don't know actually how to pronounce them, so I'm prone to just like Timo, you know. But you know, you could tell I don't know how these guys are friends. I don't know because this guy literally spends the whole issue mad at him. I mean, this guy's kids only want to mess with Uncle Vale. that tells you a lot, you know. Anyway, it's a little bit of slice of life. He tries to hit on he tries to hit on his wife and everything. She moves her hand out of the way. It's the small little subtle details in there that you don't notice. Like, I didn't notice this scene, this panel right here quickly goes to this panel right here. She pulls her hand back. I think it's a feat of artistic genius, because you don't actually know it. It's a small detail that he's trying to hit on his wife, and Timor actually, he figures it out pretty good. He's like, oh, so you're trying to move in on my wife? You're trying to take my kids? Like, you know, nobody even, why are you here? And apparently they're here because there's a thing that's going on tomorrow. We don't know what that thing is, but it's kind of like an anniversary, and it means a lot to Vale that they go see it. But Vale is kind of suffering from PTSD, and no one knows what it is. Even the book even teases it, but it seems like a PTSD because he can see like an alternate version of how events would have played out if he, you know, had that life. Like, he has a vision that him and Krysta actually got together, and those are his kids. But as you can see, it's just a lot of times, like, this guy's kids, like I said, they want to be Vale. They do not want to be their own dad. So, and even Vale says something like, oh, they're great kids, Timor. I should have spent more time with them. And he's like, they already have a dad. You know, that type of stuff. It's it's good. It's good writing. It's not like robotic stuff. They already have a dad. I should have spent more time with them. Because really, all he means it well. Like, he means to say, oh, you know, they call me uncle. I should have came around a lot, but I've been doing other stuff because my life revolves around training. How many times have most people put something else in front of a family, whether that's your job or whatever? You put it in front of your family, and then you wish you would have spent more time with your actual family. Anyway, Timor actually decides he's had enough when his kids actually start arguing about who can be Vale in a fight. So Timor's like, you know what, right here, right now, let's go. And Vale's like, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do this in front of your kids. You know, this is going to be embarrassing. I don't want to do it. So anyway, we fast forward to the gut punch heard around the world. It's literally just like, hey, I'm going to do my multiple punch thing at you, and then, you know, the gut punch. He really thinks he's doing something. It's a lot like Vegeta. Like when Vegeta does his little barrage thing at Cell, and it does nothing. It just makes a bunch of smoke that gets the taste slapped out of his mouth. And he does that a lot. That's like Vegeta's go-to thing. And so Timor actually does one too. It's called the Blast Barrage, and he does it, but Vale has a memory from the past, and it's like, oh, it doesn't work very well. Anyway, so we're left with this big gigantic splash panel that leaves you wondering what's going on. Even this down here. Can Vale survive Timor's blast barrage? What's behind Vale's strange affliction? And it really doesn't even tell you on the next time. Like this issue right here, I do have it. This character right here, she is probably the most dynamic character in this whole series, honestly. I really like her character. And her character is probably going to be a fan favorite. I'm going to call it now. If you follow this series, but I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting for a pet project. I'm not even gonna lie. But like I said, this cover is great. This is Dark Horse. This is Aubrey Sitterson and Fico Ossio. They love their source material that they're drawing from. It would be different if they're just like two guys that were just influenced by like manga and anime, but they are actually just two guys that like manga and anime. They read them. I'm pretty sure they're probably reading My Hero Academia right now, and they're like, oh my gosh, man, this is good stuff, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when people try to put this style in their stuff and it doesn't work because that's all they know how to draw. Like I came up when Dragon Ball was just coming to America. You know, I remember waking up and in Atlanta watching it on UPN. It was Dragon Ball at 7 and then Dragon Ball Z at 7:30 on UPN. And just watching it. And then that's all I knew how to draw. I only knew how to draw the Toriyama style. And everywhere I went, I was drawing Dragon Ball figures. And then people were like, why don't you draw something else? And I'm like, because I don't know how to draw anything else. I know how to draw Goku. But these guys, they care about what they do. This is clearly a passion project. And things really don't pick up in this issue. Which is kind of a bad thing, but it's a good thing if you're trying to stick it out for the long haul. I personally thought that maybe they should have came out with the compressed graphic novel, like a trade paperback that would have had like the first 5 issues, because I think it would flow a whole lot better personally, because there's not a lot of revelations in this. It's just really good art and a lot of colors, and we get introduced to the rivals and all that stuff. But anyway, if you want to support some good art and a decent story that actually takes another book to actually start to get interesting, No One Left to Fight. It's actually good. The basic premise is when you've beaten everybody in the world that you can fight, who else is left to fight? And what happens, what is your purpose when all you've done is spend your whole life fighting? All right, till next time, my name is Quatez, and I will see y'all later. Peace out.